The Sandlot is a touchy subject for me. At the time seeing it, I think that a lot of people related to the boys all getting together for summer, the baseball, kissing the lifeguard that's actually really cute, the big dog. There were some fun antics there. But for me, The Sandlot marks a rather disturbing conclusion. See, The Sandlot ended my childhood. And it wasn't until sometime when I was an adult that I really realized that that is the point in which I wasn't a kid anymore. See, guys, this is the story of how my grandma became the greatest gamer I have ever seen. And not every superhero has that good of an origin story. So, a little about my grandma. In the 90s, we had gotten a Super Nintendo. We got an N64 when we moved to Kansas, and she was in Oklahoma. At some point, and I think it was when we were in the Super Nintendo age still, we gave her our NES. So this was in the latter 90s, 96, okay? And she got really good at certain games. Super Mario Brothers, she could beat. I have personally seen this woman, an old granny, walk under the final Bowser, stare his ass down, and just casually take a stroll under him. When I saw her do that, I flipped out and I said, "Grandma, you can run." And she's like, "How do you run?" Now you're probably wondering, how do you get that far in the game without running? Somehow she did it. She could almost beat Super Mario Brothers 3. She could get to one of the fortresses in the last world, and it gave her a hard time, but yeah, understandable. Limited lives, limited continues, that NES hard, right? She could get further than most people in Battletoads. She could get past the turbo tunnel. I think it was through my grandma that we actually found the level skip in the turbo tunnel. But her favorite game was The Legend of Zelda. That old gold cart. Took us a long time just to find the raft, the step ladder, really expand the world. All we had to work with was this tiny little insert from the game pack. Had a little tiny map that you get out the magnifying glass, and I guess it was supposed to be an incentive to buy the Nintendo Power Guide. She beat The Legend of Zelda both quests 6 times apiece, at least. I used to come to her house, still seeing her playing Legend of Zelda. Well, it turns out there was a reason why my grandma got fixated on video games. Now let's go back to The Sandlot. 1993, my grandma, my cousins, my little brother, myself, along with my cousin's other grandma, we're all packed in the car. This is a Cadillac Coupe de Ville. We go see The Sandlot. We thought it was all right. It's more of a movie made for the inner kid and the adult that's going to go see it, more so than it is for the kids. A little bit of that cross-generation appeal. I think that in some way it has, by being set in the past, I think it was the early 60s, and that Americana of bygone days, there are overlapping nostalgia factors here, and a lot of people really liked it. But what really struck out to me is what happened in the car ride on the way home. For reasons I don't know, and I don't think he remembers, my cousin, who is a year younger than me and a little smaller, was pulling on my ear. This irritated me. He wouldn't stop. I punched him in the face. I guess that hurt him. His grandma, not my grandma, turns around and slaps me. Okay, so these are older gals in the 90s. You can slap other people's kids. I guess this led to a big fight that I was not privy to until years later, and we'll get into that. Evidently, during this big fight, my cousin's dad, my uncle, said, "Okay, well, if you can't keep the kids from hitting each other, then I guess my kids just can't stay here anymore." To which my grandma responded by overdosing on a bottle of pills. My grandpa then took her to the ER. I guess she's foaming at the mouth. It's not going well. Again, I'm not told about any of this. And she recovers. But from that point forward, and I wasn't told while she was alive, that she was on like antidepressants and things. And she had said things about like her eyes don't, she got old and her eyes don't dilate or swap or something, so she can see at night. So she could only go places during the day and had to wear sunglasses quite a bit. I didn't really think that much of it. In 2007, she got to the hospital, had some breathing issues. They'd been lifelong smokers, but they quit 10 years prior because my grandpa, he got cancer in the mouth. They didn't even know what it was called. They were about to name it after him. They quit smoking, but the side effects linger on. All the lung issues. She had trouble breathing. I'm going to bring my PlayStation 2 to her. I'm like, Grandma, I think it's time for you to do this. I tried to get her to play Halo. Halo 2, she couldn't get into the 3D movement. She couldn't even get into the spherical designated area for Master Chief to power up his armor. Couldn't get that done. But I'm thinking, okay, PlayStation 2, I can load up Final Fantasy VII on there. It plays fine. I can get her to play that. It's sort of like Zelda, turn-based. She can handle this. And she passes away. Not while we were there. We thought she was recovering. Everybody's going back to doing their things. I'm a state away, and then we get the news that she died. It's at this point everybody tells me what the real situation was. How because I punched my cousin, all this massive fallout. Not being allowed to go to her house, okay? Overdose on the pills. Can't see anymore. Pill popping, becomes a gamer. And that's all because we went to the Sandlot. So yeah, I'm sorry if I don't have a review of the Sandlot and have issues with actually watching the movie ever again.